Here we are, boat's rigged, sat on the mooring, waiting for the next morning, ready to go. Before you know it, good night's kip, and we were up and out, and away. I sailed down the river on the motor obviously, got into the estuary, up with the sails, and away I went. To my amazement, she sails fantastic. She's got what's called slight weather helm. Note there, at the sails I forgot to put battens in. So teach yourself sailing, job done, but I've got to start learning now. This is where the fun begins, but I have taught myself to sail, I've read the books. As far as I'm concerned, it's job done. It was a good day out on the estuary. I had the wind coming down the estuary and I had to go up the estuary, so I had to do 45-degree tacks into wind. And I did 7 or 8 of them and made my way up to the highest point I could before I had to moor. Yeah, as I say, she has slight weather helm, which is perfect. When you let go of the tiller, she turns into wind and leaves herself what he calls stopped in chains or something. I forget all the terminology, I'm the same with hang gliding. But there she is, she got lovely new sails. They come with the boat. The boat stands been about £400 because I sold the trailer, made the money up. And with all the bits I got with her, the actual boat stands me like £400. Stands me a little bit more than now when I've done all the work on her. But there she is anyway, she was sailing well. The estuary is a funny place to sail. First ever tack, about to do it. Yeah, the estuary is a funny place to sail because you're sort of landlocked really, if you notice, land all the way round. So the wind can be rough one minute and down the next. And this day it was blustery. A couple of times I had the rubbing strips over near the water. And I was really happy with the way I handled it. Because I just turned into wind and she come straight out of it. Not right into wind, but enough to get the sails upright rather than loosen the sail off. But as I say, I had 8 or 9 tacks or whatever up and down the river. And it was all good fun. The dogs were alright. At one point I let the dogs out on the deck. And it got really blustery. That was when I had the rubbing strip right over in the water. And I normally talk quietly to the dogs and say, "Get in, boys." But because I got a bit panicky, I shouted. And it sort of nerved them, and they didn't know what to do. I had to pick them up and chuck them in. But in future they stay inside until I know what's happening. It's like everything else, when you're learning you need to think twice about everything you do, not to make mistakes. Yeah, 7 or so tacks later I was up at the top of the estuary and thinking about going in to moor up on a mooring that I'd made the night before, which was on a lower sandbar, so the next day I was hoping to get off earlier and sail again, but the wind dropped. In the end I ended up doing tack after tack, backwards and forwards and going backwards. So a bit like going downwind on an hang glider really. The glider or the boat thinks it's going. But the main thing was the first day I had good fun, and as I say, at this point now I'm feeling right at home. I know the boat well, she's balanced well and everything's nice. I had 3 or 4 problems that had to be put right. One was the ropes and stuff loose on the deck. The other was when the sail goes across, the lines, the sheets as they're called, snag on the shrouds, and I had to shake them. So I've renewed that now with rope instead of tanks. Yeah, I had to have words with the dogs at one point. They took their time getting in the cabin and I had to tell them off. But they're okay with it, they're happy enough little dogs, they're great little dogs. 2 right little landlocked dogs, they are lovely dogs. Anyway, as I say, it was time to moor up after a while. So on to the motor, and then he's for the boy I made. All in all, I know I can sail now, so my next trip is out into the sea. I've come home now for a couple of days to get provisions all done. I just had 6 days away in the van, and I'm off back down to the boat now, take the sleeping gear down, and the rest of the supply kit, the water tank and everything that goes on board. Top of the boat engine's off there, because what I do when I start the boat engine, I usually do it with a rope that specially made, and I forgot to put the top back on. But that's again the learning curve. You do things, you know, without thinking. But playing safe, all in all, I've done really well. In the estuary is safe anyway. I've got flares, I've got 13 flares, 2 radios, everything I could possibly need. The only thing I need now is my float suit, but on the boat I did have my wetsuit. So if ever I was out, I would have put the wetsuit on before I abandoned the boat if I had to. Hopefully I never will. But the float suit is the next thing I've got to buy, and then I have everything. Anyway, I'm back home now, and the boat's down there basically ready. I put the sails off and that. End of the day, nice cup of tea. Sat down on the sandbar. As I say, next day we never knew luck, but 2 days after that I carried on working on her. And I put just 2 little chuck boxes now. As I get loose wires, they get chucked in a box. Everything on deck goes in there. My boats are always tidy boats. I never sail with anything loose on the boat. Even if we're fishing, all the fishing tackle's kept in the cabin by the kit you're using. Safety on a boat is most important all the time. When I was climbing about on the deck in the water when the boat's moving, I knew I needed these 2 safety wires doing, so I made them. There's my trusty old tool. I do all my angler wires with that. But all the jobs now, the boat is 100%, shouldn't have a problem sailing again. Anyway, let's just sit on the sandbar now, and I'm off home, getting ready to go back down. Job done. Now it's time to start learning. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.